Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday. It's pretty decent weather out and doing some finish work on the van today. We're scheduled to be down in North Carolina this coming Friday, and we're kind of riding the fence on whether we're going to end up going to the van rally in Asheville at this point with Hurricane Florence going through there. We're just kind of on standby to see what happens with the storm. I don't really want to be an extra drain on resources down there in the aftermath and any kind of cleanup that's happening. So we're not completely ruling out North Carolina, but we're just kind of on standby to see what happens. But in the meantime, I'm spending this weekend doing some finishing touches on the van, because regardless of what happens with the weather, if we're not going to North Carolina, we're just going to point the van in a different direction and head that direction to nicer weather. So our hearts and thoughts go out to everybody down in North Carolina. I know my son and his girlfriend are down there in Charlotte. Peace, stay safe, and to everybody else in North Carolina and their friends and family who may be down there, our thoughts and prayers are with you. So today, going to do some finish work. Last week we did a three-part series on the overhead wardrobe cabinets. Today, or this weekend, I'm going to be making the cabinet doors for them and the cabinet doors for the galley. Beth painted them the other day, so if I don't cut them and start getting them up, there will be a spirited debate, we'll call it, and I don't want to have that occur. So, but in the meantime, while I'm doing that, and I'll do some video on that, but I did want to do a quick product review on a stepping stool for stepping into the van. We have used, since we purchased the van, we've used one of those little plastic stools that you'd go out and you'd buy at a Walmart, and that has worked as long as you're very careful about stepping in or out of the van and make sure you're stepping into the center of the stool. It's plastic, sometimes you're on uneven ground, it could be a little wobbly. And we decided to go with a more sturdy stepping stool specifically designed for campers or vans, because I had a couple older individuals who were a little timid getting in and out of the van, and I was really nervous about when they stepped their foot down to make sure that that stool was going to be solid. So as I said, one of the stool we've been using getting in and out of the vehicle is just a cheap little plastic Rubbermaid stool. And it's worked, but it can really be not very sturdy, pretty wobbly, but it has served its purpose. What we did do is go on Amazon and purchased an adjustable leg aluminum platform step from Stromberg Carlson Products, and this particular model was about $90 because it has the adjustable legs. They make a model that doesn't have adjustable legs, and it's about $40 or so. But this is it. It's all aluminum and has nice fold-out legs that go back and forth. But I can also press this button and put the leg up and down. So right now on the driveway that's kind of tilted like this, I can put these up a notch, I can put those two down a notch, and I have a nice solid stool. It's not real heavy, it's made of aluminum, it has nice grip paper on here, so there's not much chance of slipping off of it. And the fact that the legs are angled out, there's not much chance of it rolling over, which was my biggest fear with that, is standing on the edge of it, having a leg collapse and you roll it over and break an ankle or something. So this is what we went with, and so far we're really happy with it. So let me show you too what we're doing with the overhead cabinets. If you recall from the three-part series we did last week where we built this overhead wardrobe, what I need to do now is put some cabinets on here, our cabinet doors on here, and we're going to use a 1/4-inch maple. I bought 4 pieces because I have 2 cabinet doors to do here and I have 2 for the galley, but I bought 4 pieces of 1/4-inch maple plywood that's 2 foot by 4 foot, and I like that for the cabinet doors because it's smooth. I don't really need to sand it. It takes a paint real nice. It's very light, and then I use just some 1/4-inch poplar trim pieces around the edge. It makes a good door. It makes a very light door, and that's really nice because I don't necessarily always have to worry about gas shocks like I see elsewhere. And we're using these hinges, which are just self-closing hinges. So when I put these hinges up on here, okay, so when I lift this up, this hinge stays up. And the fact that the door is so light, my plan is, my hope is, the door is going to just stay in place up there, and I'm not going to have to spend the extra money or do the extra construction to put any gas shocks on there like I originally thought. And the door will be super light. And I'll show you where we have some other doors like that. On our stand-up cabinet, that's exactly what this door is. So this is the 1/4-inch maple plywood, and then we have some 1/4-inch thick poplar strips around it. And basically all I do is I take 2 strips on either side of the ply, I clamp and glue them together. That gives me my thickness to screw handles into, to screw in the hinges into, etc. And these doors are just very, very light. Another piece we're going to put in the van this weekend is I did get a steel, like a stainless steel colored backboard that we will end up, if you recall earlier when we did this cabinet, we have these screws that are visible on here, and needed a way to really hide those. And I wasn't worried about it because we're going to end up putting this stainless steel plate up here. Now it's a little gray looking because it's got the protective coating on it yet, that I'll peel that off, and that'll be a nice shiny side, kind of like this side. This is the back of it. But we'll mount this up here. This is 12 by 24 inches long. And what this is going to serve as is basically for our spice cans. So what we'll do is we'll end up having all our spices mounted here on the side of this. So that's going to cover up my screws, and it's going to give us a nice place for all our spices. So when you're putting these together, one of the things I found is, you know, in the early days of this, is I was really worried about what the look of these were. But as you go, you start worrying about it less and less, because you're going to end up covering this up with other things, so it becomes less of an issue. And that apparently holds really well. So those are the things we're working on this weekend, and we're also going to add cleaning the van to get it ready for this weekend's van event, or if Hurricane Florence points us in a different direction, then we'll do that. But one way or another, Beth and I are leaving here Wednesday night, and we're gone till the following Monday. Somehow or another, we're going somewhere, so I have to have the van ready to go. So we're going to get some finish work done this week, clean up the van, and we'll check in later in the weekend. Peace. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like the content we're putting out. Bye-bye.